Love. we could all stand and say the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thanks everyone for being here for our June 11th workshop. I want to welcome our newest board member here for her first meeting, Miss Michelle Cannon, representing Dixie County. I've known her for many years and know she'll do a great job on the board. We're glad to have her.
Thank you.
Glad to see our board getting filled out. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Barrett.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to go over to the podium, do a presentation for you. And then Vice President Holloway will follow with some budget specifics for you. I just wanted to give you a general overview of the budget. Yeah, excuse me, I'm on New Orleans time. New Orleans most of the week. Not one of my favorite cities, but I had to be there, so. And you'll hear a little bit about that later. Let's see. Before we begin, I just wanted to talk about budget realities and strategies for the future. When we created this budget as a team, we created this budget not just for this year, but anticipating that some of the funding that we get is reoccurring and some of it's one-time budget money. So you'll see that as we talk about the budget today. Give you an idea, when we concentrate on numbers as a traditional former community college, state college, a lot of what we look at is high school data. Of course, we have the non-traditional students too, but I thought it was important that we look at our service district area. As you know, all of you serve the 5 counties. The demographics indicate by the Department of Commerce and also by our censuses that demographics in our area for the school districts will be down 10 to 15% in the next 5 years. All the 5 districts are important, but the demographic shifts in Columbia and Baker tend to be the largest. The other thing impacting, as you all hear throughout through the past few months, is the school choice movement in the state of Florida. It's estimated in all our 5 regions that 1,800 students have left the public school districts in our area in the last year. And remember, that's over the whole course of K through 12. And a lot of that is in the early age groups. However, the high schools are facing it significantly too. Overall growth rates of our entire population in our service districts is stagnant for the past 2 years. We're hearing from a lot of our counties and so forth that we're growing fast and so forth. The demographics don't indicate that. It indicated we had a huge surge during COVID, but most of our growth in our 5 counties will come from people my age and people, many of you in this room, except a few of you. I don't want to. So for a population over 40, it's 25% of the population growth and 60% over the age of 50. So it's concerning as we're looking as a college to what we need to do for the future. Very important that we look at, every one of us look, at least my college, our college, looks at the chamber scorecard, and we look at our 5 counties. And as the state is doing better, our 5 counties aren't doing as well as some others. And this is just, it seems to be negative, but I think we need to be faced with this. Poverty rates are going up, or they're same as a few years ago. So I could give you each county, but I just will tell you that overall, 3rd grade reading levels are still stagnant. The range is 50 to 75%. Students are reading at 3rd grade level. As Mr. Medina would say and everything, that reading is very, very important. I've heard him tell me that over and over again. So our future of our institutions and hopefully it'll be our education programs and so forth will help train to help that, but it's going to take everyone to work to get those reading levels up, because as you get through those levels, more and more it becomes difficult for students to be successful. Our unemployment rate is going up. It's 5.4% in our 5 counties this month. And there's no large employers coming into our communities. We do have some smaller ones, but no large ones that really can help the demographic situation. So that's really the compass. I probably doom and gloom, as other people would be very positive. I just would like to say, but those are the facts. And I've always been blunt with you about the facts. So employees, now this is FGC. So now we turn to FGC. Hopefully these are the positives, and you'll think of it as positives. In 2015, full-time employees, we had 202. And if you look back in 2010, we had 247. Today, we have 198 full-time employees. So in 10 years, 11 years, we've stabilized a little less than we had 10 years ago. Full-time faculty, but you'll see a significant increase in our full-time faculty. From 2015, we had 62 full-time faculty. Today, we have 84, and I think we have 80 of those 84 positions currently filled. So we have made a significant change in how we're doing things. I wanted just to give you an idea of our full-time starting faculty salary. In 2015 was $33,800. Our full-time starting faculty now is $44,500, and that's for general faculty. For our STEM faculty, I believe it's $48,000. Is that correct? 48 something. So, and in 15, our average full-time faculty member without overloads or anything was $54,300, and today the average salary is $64,200. We always want to keep the best and brightest, and you'll see in our budget that's once again one of our goals is retention and recruitment of faculty and staff. Great news, thanks to some of our legislators and the hard work of some people in this room and so forth. Our state appropriations have gone up $13,220,000. It was $13,220,000 in 2015. Hopefully, when the budget is signed, it will be $21,554,000. So that's about a 66% increase, and which is very, very good. And it's interesting, as I come back from New Orleans, dealing with about 15 or 16 states, you know, we walk in the room and it's sometimes we say we're very proud of being Floridians and our #1 in higher education and so forth. It's interesting, so other states don't think that way of us. But one of the things I always state to people is Florida funds us well. And you can't say that about any other state. I mean, you look at any of those states, Florida funds the state college system very well. We always want more and so forth, but as you look overall nationally, the increase, our 66% has been about nationally 6%. So we've been funded very well by the legislature. As you all know, thanks to all of you, and some of you are on the board, when you did this 14 years ago, there's no tuition increase or fee increase in 14 years. Something I want to keep in mind with you is fee waivers. No money's coming in, but they're mandated. This past year, it's $1.56 million. So if you look at the increase we get, we do have some mandatory fee waivers, and they're not all dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is the majority of that. However, there's foster home students, there's homeless waivers. This year, homeless waivers increased significantly. It was $87,000 of homeless waivers on for the institution. So there's a lot of fee waivers with no money coming in, and we have to support that. Foundation support went up significantly over the past few years. As you can see, the foundation support, the money that they gave the institution was $742,000. This was directly to the college and to students. In 2026, it's $1.748 million. And then we also receive other parts of our budget through grants, auxiliary, etc. State appropriation for this upcoming year, if the budget is approved, reoccurring money will be $20,544,000. Non-reoccurring will be $1 million, thanks to the state legislature. They approved us for a non-recurring $1 million addition to our appropriations for operations. And as you can see, when Michelle talks about the budget, and I talk a little bit about this, we're planning on not using that non-reoccurring for one-time projects and not keeping that going throughout the budget, because we don't know if we'll get that again. So it's kind of important to consider that. We're anticipating a slight increase in enrollment this coming year, even with the demographic shift of about 2% due to new programs, and because we're attempting to increase our retention rate and our graduation rates, which have declined a little bit slightly, and we can talk about the reasons for that. Recommendation for the budget. These are the areas we would like to talk about, and Michelle's going to present. Retention and recruitment of staff, as I mentioned. We've done a very good job with a lot less people, but they're getting paid, and they're getting paid with increases. And if we had 230, 240 people, we could never do that. So we're having people do more with less, working harder, but getting paid better, which is helping us. Student success is number one in our mind. One of the things that you've heard me say about Aspen, we did not make the top 25 in the nation. We made the top 100, but we actually got feedback this year of the reason why we didn't get in the top 25. It was the first time they've ever done that. And one of the things that they suggested that the top 25 did that we did not do, which was important, and we're looking at that, is they're mandating their students before they can go on to finish math and finish English, to do that very upfront, and mandating them not allowed to go further on. And that's part of the problem, challenge we've had. And we started that before COVID, and then as we all, not blaming everything on COVID, but we had very specific rules that we had put in place, and now we've kind of gone back to this free kind of a situation. So we're thinking about going back to that, but that causes some other issues down the road. So that's something that we've gotten some really good feedback from Aspen about, that we're really thinking about doing. Campus safety. The legislature passed significant new requirements on the colleges that's going to cost some money, and we've already hired our campus safety and security officer. You met Judy at the last meeting. The bill was passed. Lindsay and I was down in Miami for that meeting, and the governor came and signed it. Unfortunately, the legislature did not pass the funding for it. So we will have to be making up some of that situation in our budget. But it is important, as we've had an issue or two recently, campus safety. Campus is still a very safe campus. However, we have to do a lot more to keep our priority on the safety of our children and our adults that go to school here, and also our faculty and staff. Some of the money for that $1 million that we received in non-recurring is support for redesign and creation of new programs and renovations and planning for new facilities. It's going to be very important. Now, when you see, I'm not going to use all of Michelle's thunder, but when we propose a salary increase for our faculty and staff, one of the ways we've done this is we say, how can you come up with that increase when you're only going to use a certain amount of money? We have to remember that we've had 4 large institutional positions that people retired and moved on from, which resulted in about $574,000 worth of savings over this year. And what we're going to do is reallocate that money. We're going to request that we reallocate that for these people to do more work and get paid, and our faculty and staff to get paid. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Michelle. Any questions for me, or we'll go when we go back, or you want to just have her present too?
Does any of the board have any questions right now, or we can save it for the end? But if you have anything on your mind right now, questions, comments?
Can you do it?
Okay. Good afternoon. I am pleased to present the 26-27 proposed budget for this year, or upcoming year. Okay, that's going to do it. Okay, yeah, really? Yeah.
I just use the arrows.
Okay, I'll just do that. Okay. So just a quick overview of what we're going to touch on today: our projected revenue, our salaries and benefits, and our expenses. Budget highlights of the percentages that we're requesting as an increase or decrease in some cases on those items, our capital outlay, and our comparison between last year's budget and this year's proposed budget. Okay. So as far as revenue goes, our current revenue for 25-26 was $30 million, let me get this right, yeah, 200, yes, right.
It keeps getting better.
Right, $30,244,596. Our proposed revenue for 26-27 would be $351,553. It's an increase of slightly over $1.1 million. And the projected revenue from that amount is 2% is coming from our projected tuition and fee revenue, and then the remaining balance is coming from the increase in state appropriations. Okay. Our current expenses, which are contain items like utilities, maintenance projects, contractual services that we have to make the college run. Those are items that are used within the year and they're expensed out. So our current expenses for 2025 totaled $8,276,193. And our projected 26-27 will be $8,653,006. It's a 27% increase, which largely going to be due to the increase in utilities and the increase in maintenance campus-wide, and also contractual services, as Dr. Barrett was speaking, some contractual services for our new programs. Okay. Capital outlay. So those are items that are $5,000 or more, equipment, furniture, things that we're going to last for more than a year that we capitalize on our financial statements. So our 25-26 capital outlay expenses were projected at $261,000. Our projected 26-27 capital expenses will be $223,790. So it's actually a small decrease of 1%. Okay. Salaries and benefits, the good stuff. So our current 25-26 expense for salaries and benefits is $21,707,304. Projected increase or projected expense for salaries and benefits, $22,524,757. And that's 72% of the entire revenue budget would go to salaries and benefits. Let's see. So what this budget includes is a request for a 5% raise for all faculty and staff. So you may want to know how we came up with the 5% amount. So it's based on, I've reviewed the CPI increase, Consumer Price Index increase for living expenses, basic living expenses for 2024 and 2025. I looked at items like food, gas, and shelter that everybody has to have. And for 2024, those items increased 6.6%. And in 2025, the same items increased 9.7%. So our raises for our employees during the same period, in 2024, we had a 4% increase, and in 2025, we had a 3% increase. So we're trying to help with our employees and the increase in the cost of living. So the increase in the salaries and the benefits is around $817,453, of which that is $371,561 is adjunct and part-time increase in salaries there. And then the remaining $445,893, it reflects the full-time increase for the benefits for salaries or for faculties and staff. Okay. And I will open it for questions.
Any questions or comments? Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll turn it over to Ms. Logan for board reorganization.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So by statute, the board is required to reorganize every August by selecting a chair and then a vice chair to act in the absence of the chair. And so during our workshop, during these months, we always just kind of remind the board that this is up and coming and ask for some feedback or input as to thoughts for those positions so that we will be ready to move on that in August. So just looking for some thoughts and input from the board on that topic.
We'll open that up for discussion. Not everyone at once. If anyone wants to move into the chair position, I'll be more than happy to step aside. If no one wants, I'll continue to do it as long as y'all want me to, or I have absolutely no problem passing the gavel.
Doing a great job. I love going to Miami.
File out of my ear. Well, anyone have any other thoughts? Anyone? Like I said, I really don't mind doing it, but I also don't mind, whenever someone's ready to take it on, I'd be more than happy to step aside.
I feel the exact same as Vice Chair. If anyone is interested, that is completely fine with me, but if no one is, then I'm happy to continue.
Again, we're getting crickets.
Unanimous acclamation.
I guess that's a vote of confidence.
I appreciate the job, the current chair and vice chair, and I don't know if we need a recommendation for them to continue in that role.
I think we're just discussing it
Oh, okay.
right now, and then we'll
Okay.
do like a formal
Anyway, just wanted to say,
reorganization. Yes, sir.
Great job you guys are doing. and
Thank you.
we Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, well, we'll move on into board comments or additions. Anything that anyone has, if anything, to discuss about our workshop, anything Dr. Barrett or Ms. Holloway talked about that you have any further questions or comments about?
I have a question for Dr. Barrett based on the demographics that you laid out, because we also have a high level in this service district of educational professionals, prison professionals, healthcare professionals that are probably going to be aging out. And so do we have any statistics on what our own demographic workforce will look like, even if it's anecdotal? But I think the school system would probably be the easiest one to get your arms around. Like, again, should we be prepping for more of a certain type of person coming out of the college to fill, not necessarily like new jobs, but existing jobs where you've got turnover from people that are just, hey, they're taking drop, they're, they've hit the level where they can, move out of the system. So if we don't have anything like that, that would, to me, be a worthwhile study so that we can be focused on, where do we need to really put our energies in workforce to help the existing companies in town replenish.
And the ones that we are anecdotal, but we are starting to look at it because we're applying for some grants and so forth. But it's definitely in the construction industries and healthcare. Regardless if there's an aging out, healthcare in the rural communities will continue to expand because of our age group. I think it goes to maybe I'm not directly answering. I think we'll have some type of study, and that's why we're looking at the healthcare so intensely. Which are very expensive programs, but very needed in the community. But I think we will do a study, but the construction and the healthcare are the two that we're really looking at. The challenges with such things as educators and so forth, aging out, is that the whole business of educating is changing. And I think that's what I really would tell you to it, the adaptation of the campus is going to be imperative as we look at this budget and look at 3 or 5 years out. Regardless of I'm here or anybody, we got to look to not today or tomorrow, we got to look at 3 or 5 years from now. That's what I worry about every day.
Right.
And the situation is, so I expand a little bit on what you said. I was going to mention it but I thought I was a little bit too doom and gloom, but I want to expand on a little bit, is I do think we start looking at the age groups of the 50-year-olds, the 52-year-olds that are moving in, and helping it. I would call it kind of a Hershey school experience. Hershey built their whole business, and then their school became part of their community and so forth. So do we have those populations that we can retrain, re-engage, redo some of those jobs? We don't do that right now. And I'm not talking just community education. I'm talking retraining and keeping those, and then they'll help Lee potentially as donors or community engagement. I think that's going to be important. It's very hard to do that in this kind of a budget, to do that. But the other thing we have to, and we started with the tiny houses, which has been slow, in my perception slow, others will say it's going too fast. But the thing is one of the things we do have, let's take advantage, I will be, not my frustration level, I'm tired of us being the creative engine and then people stealing our ideas and scaling it up. So we are like the incubator. One of my colleagues said, you have a small portal but great ideas. And that's when I look at things, I think that's important for us to do, all of us. But I will say that we need to look at housing, because if we take a look 5 years from now and we only have 16 students, I'll use an easy example, but the technical programs will be even worse. But if we only have 16 in a class, or an English class, and we need to run that class to 22 to make our margins, we have a good product here, we need to try to bring in to keep this institution alive. So we have to look at housing, and we can't pay for it through state appropriations. So we have to be entrepreneurial, but also understand we don't want to take risks. We have very little debt. We're down to 300,000 or something in our debt for that whole HVAC problem. I don't want to take on a bunch of debt. I don't think any of us want to take on any debt. So the thing but those are the kinds of things I think Trustee Norris, we're looking at as the future of the institution, and we don't have a plan yet for that, but we have lots of thoughts and processes. But I do think we can't rely on, I'll give you one last example. I'm talking, EMS has become a huge issue in Columbia County about service, huge issue. Well, we need to work with the county. We started working last week with them. I've been having meetings with the county manager and the county chairman, but we can't promise. They're saying, a couple of the comments by staff at the county said we're going to be paying EMS people $70,000 a year upon graduation. That's not the market we're in. The market, it's $38,000. So when we talk, paramedics at $70,000, but we have to be realistic about our approach too. So I just would pass that comment that we need to be creative. And this place has re-engineered itself since 1947, and we need to do it again soon, I think, because it's changing rapidly. So.
Where are we on the, refresh my memory, where are we on the tiny house?
We just, we were able to get approval from Swanee River Water Management, and we're with the city we actually have the contract ready to go for water and sewer. The next huge challenge we have is to get the Department of Education to approve it as, because they're wooden. So they're having some trouble getting us to that stage, even though they'll be fireproofed and with, that's the latest. Now we're going to be meeting with them in June. But if we get through that stage, we can be ready for fall because we have everything done out there now.
Are there lots of people that build those? I remember we had one on display.
Yeah, we have that actually back there now. Yeah, we actually did a bid process that you approved, and actually we have a company, but we have not signed the contract with them.
Okay, the reason I bring that up, this week I toured a prison where they're building. Prison system through
Okay.
their prison rehabilitative industries is gotten to, they're producing them. So I don't know
Okay.
what their cost is usually.
Hey, because we're using the bed mattresses.
Usually, if you,
No, the bed mattress.
Renee, tell me right. If you need to buy fence posts, sometimes they'll sell them cheaper than the store will. You
Yes.
probably know that better than I
Yes.
do. but it might be something to look
That's
at.
good. And what I should preface is
They were doing-
the prisons did, we purchased the
price.
mattresses for the dorms and everything through the prison program.
Right.
But that's something.
They've gotten to the tiny house business.
And and one of the grants that a few of these people have written, well, Brandon's not here, who's the primary writer, but is a federal grant that will be part of our building construction program that we're trying to build. And the premise is 20 of the tiny houses will be purchased, and then the other 20 will be built by our students each semester. So they'll be learning, and that'll be one of their capstone programs in the first semester to build a tiny house, and we'll put it out there. But we got to get the state to agree to our thing. But it's a great idea. It would be still the first.
They're, what I saw, they're hurricane,
Right.
whatever.
Well, they are.
resistant. They're,
We may need some help from a legislator to try to push the Department of Education to approve that. So,
So, a thought and a question, Ms. Norris brought up about the needs in the region. I mean, I think that we're doing a pretty good job of staying on track with that, with construction, with medical, but also, our region is kind of following in the footsteps of Marion County and Ocala, where we're right now in the midst of seeing a retiree boom. But what that gives rise to is a service industry of young adults who are going to have to come in and fill in that service industry under it. And so I think that continuing to double down on that, even more than expand into a lot of new areas, but doubling down on that service industry, medical, construction, even landscaping has boomed down there, because if I'm retiring to the river at 65 years old, I don't want to do my lawn. I want to hire somebody to do my lawn. And so I think that seeing that is going to be really helpful. But the question I had is about the students leaving the public school system. What does that look like for us as far as reaching out and making sure that those students are able to avail themselves in high school of what's going on here at the college that they might miss out on if they're not at one of the public high schools in our region?
So I think I mentioned it recently, but many of the, I'll use Union as an example, and Baker has one. I'm not sure Columbia does, but they are using these consortium models in churches. Union I mentioned because currently I believe there's almost 800 students, and they're starting another cohort for K through 5 at the church. And when you talk 2,200 public school students going 800. So what we've been doing is going in there with our recruiters and so forth, Ms. Mims can tell you, and we're really trying to offer them the same services we're offering the public schools to try to do that. And on the public school sector, we are actually, Baker is the trial, we are actually set up a classroom inside Baker where we're bringing a full-time faculty member to Baker 3 times a week, and we're also using that classroom as our recruitment center to try to recruit students. So we're branding it as FGC. So we are trying, but it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
And what that occurs is that that sometimes if the structure, whether you like structure or you don't like the structure, or there's problems with the structure, it's a different world. For those students, and it's a different world for some of us to try to create that and try to then formalize education to us here at the campus. So it's a good thing. It's a really good thing, but and I think we're ahead of the game on it. Other schools are like, what are you doing? And we're like, but it's still a work in progress, I would say.
Anecdotally, just from conversations I've had in Columbia County, one of the driving factors is not education, so to speak. It's concern about safety and things like that in local school systems. So I think, again, hitting the campus safety initiatives and promoting that we're doing a good job with the campus safety initiatives is going to go a long way with that demographic of people as well.
And I did mention the Belmont situation. So we've had some additional conversations with Belmont. We now have their idea of what their ideal situation would be here starting in fall of '27. We still haven't gotten into the discussion of finances and what it would look like. But part of the reason why it would be attractive to the college we'd be directly impacting students regionally, because it would be a regional charter school to impact students coming in. And I know you're not there yet, and I'm not there yet either. I'll tell you, the more I do it, I'm not there yet. So, but the issue is that it does give us 88 potential students that would graduate here, we'd be training immediately here. The other question that arises on this, and I've brought it up, and I mean, my son was been out 6 years out of high school. I know some of these people in the audience have had just recent high school graduates. In the public schools right now, many of our students can be graduated after 11th grade. So, they're taking a lot of just work opportunities, they call them, and they could be good educational work opportunities, but, and many of the schools have restrictions on dual enrollment students that they have to get their 7 periods, so they're giving them 4 periods of work. And then, so they're keeping, and that's just part of the whole, their financial situation. But part of the situation I've thought of is if they're really qualified to graduate high school, we could be potentially with Belmont do a 3-year high school graduation. So those are kinds of things that we have opportunities to talk about. And it's still a long way away, but I do want to tell you that that is still on the docket. And I know and I'm 50-50 every day. Some days I'm 100% against, and some days I'm like, we need to do this. So so.
All right, anything else?
Does the board know, and I know Mrs. Nichols, known to Tallahassee, what we mentioned in passing, you said it was gonna cost some money, what the school safety initiative is this year?
I mean, I can go over it briefly. I mean, I wish Judy was here. She's going to a concert in Jacksonville, so I told her. But a lot of it is regarding hardening, and we've done a very good job with hardening, very good job on hardening. The problem is, and I think, I always say our warts, I think we have a very good hardening process in our buildings. It's all based on technology, and the technology has to work. So we've done okay with that, but when you test, internet here can be sometimes sketchy sometimes. And sometimes when we test it, it works 100%. Sometimes it doesn't work all the time. So we have to go through that. So we're now building backup plans immediately about that. And I think that's the good part of this bill. Gives an opportunity that this campus now can do guardian program, which means, and the law states the president designates who can be a guardian and who can't be a guardian. And then if we decide to do it. Our current private security firm is considered a guardian. They do carry, but I've learned a lot over the last 6 weeks about what a guardian can do and can't do. And I never knew that until I really started delving into it. So, and
Training's free for the guardians.
the training's free. They get a one-time stipend of $500, and we decide if we give them.
I'm talking about the sheriff's provided.
Oh, yeah, and Sheriff Kitchings has said we've had conversations with Sheriff, that he couldn't do the training until next summer.
But there's provision if that sheriff can't do it.
Then we could go right, and that's what I told him. I said we could go.
Be no delay for that reason.
I said if we wanted to, we could go to Swanee and they would do it tomorrow for us. I mean, if that's so, we really haven't come up with, the biggest thing is by July 1st, we have to have an app called, oh gosh, I forget what it's called, but anyway, it's an application that's used in the school districts now, currently. But we don't know if we can use it yet because it's not been processed, and by July 1 we're supposed to have it. And it's an opportunity to say if Lee was teaching a student in a class, I'll just use Lee as an example, and somebody wrote something that was questionable or harm to self or to others, that will immediately get sent in, but it will be done anonymously, and that will be sent throughout the whole system, and then the college will have to work with the sheriff's department. And it will become a little bit of a culture shock for the institution as we do that, because we're not used to the K through 12. But I actually think we're in very good shape when it comes to that. I think we just need to continue to tweak our decisions on what we're doing in our buildings. When we have a lockdown, when we have 80 students out and I'm probably giving away trade secrets, which I'm not supposed to, but the issue is it's just things we think about every day. When you lock down 22 buildings and all of a sudden we have 80 students out there, what do we do with those 80 students? The rules and regulations say don't let them in. So they're on their own, and they're getting a text at the same time So it's like shelter in place, and they're trying to get into buildings. So that was something recently we had some challenges with, and it did not make me feel comfortable. And so we got to, I think, but it's actually, what I think the bill has done is really elevated. This campus has always been a safe campus, and it really, but any minute, as we can tell, and we had an issue that once it happens, we have to make sure every display, every practice we do, it's good to be repetitive, but everyone is different.
So what I've seen, the glaring difference between high schools and college and universities are they're not fenced. High schools are fenced, mostly, everywhere, I guess, right? They're always. So that's where when you alluded to the future of school safety is going to involve dollars, because thus far, there have been provided no dollars. No dollars have been provided for.
And it also will be, and the back end of this is liability, is once we go to, if we go to a different, we have people carrying, or faculty or staff carrying on campus as a guardian, that also puts additional liabilities on the institution. And that's why it would be important to have the sheriff. We've had conversations with the sheriff. We are trying to bring back sheriff on campus during the day.
So refresh my memory, is Columbia County still a county that did not implement the Guardian program?
Ms. Logan knows about this well, so that's why.
So Belmont, the district's sole charter school, has implemented Guardians.
But not
The
public
school
school
district itself has not.
And probably is one of the few that has it.
That is correct.
Okay.
Are other school systems that are part of ours?
Oh, yeah, they're all
all-
Guardian, have been. And there have been, that I know of, statewide, no issues. And that's probably 4 or 5 years now.
Yep, you were correct. So that's kind of the things, and we have not, and I've not brought that forward to you. Budgetarily, we do have money in this budget for the sheriff to come back. The sheriff, and we were not going to agree to the way it was done towards the end as a patrol. We wanted it back. We were the first school in the state to have the
Well,
sheriff.
to take up for him, this
I
would be
know.
the first opportunity.
He has.
He hasn't had to do it.
No, right.
So why would he have geared up to do it? Because his county doesn't do it. But
I'm
all the
talking
others,
I'm actually
yeah.
talking about having an officer here during
Oh,
the day.
back here, yeah,
Back here.
like we had before.
Like we had before.
But
'Cause that
as
really
far as the Guardian
Oh, yeah,
training, yeah, they, if their county hasn't asked for it, other than,
Yep.
and I don't know where Belmont got theirs, they probably went somewhere else because everybody around's doing it.
I think they went to-
That they would
They went to
I would
Swanee.
assume they would gear up pretty fast too.
They went to Swanee.
Okay.
So that's a,
I just want to say that as far as the numbers dropping in the public school system, I think that they're going to continue to drop as long as the program is in place for, the voucher type program. I think the numbers in the public school are going to continue to drop. And another big issue that people aren't thinking about quite as much is the fact that birth rates are bottoming out everywhere. And our area, North Central Florida, even though it's rural, people aren't having babies, even in the rural areas. So the numbers, that are pre-K below are much lower also. So there's not going to be the numbers to fill the school system. So unless they do something with the funding of the voucher system, I think those numbers in the public school are going to stay low.
I'll say
Maybe
one more
drop
thing. I
lower.
think you hit the nail on the head, Dr. Barrett, too, as far as looking out 2 or 3 years because of a lot of things going on. Renee just mentioned one. There are not 900 people a day or whatever the number was moving to Florida at this point. It's a lot less. Granted, it's the political season. People will tell you we're being overrun. But you just showed a statistic that showed that we're not really being overrun here. But every bean counter prognosticator that testifies before us is predicting a downturn. That's why the legislature for the last 2 years has sort of circled the wagons and said, hey, we're going to keep stocking record reserves because this is what they're telling us. Now, I say that, but every month the revenue is above what they predict. every month. So it is definitely not started, but everyone's saying that, which tells you when that time comes, they're going to be dipping into those record reserves they have, but they're not going to be doling it out. They're not going to be building ADA compliant bathrooms in the Howard Gymnasium and putting a roof.
Exactly.
So that's the mentality I think we need to think about, because it's going to come at some point. I mean, there's just too many people telling us over and over it's going to come.
Okay, anything else? All right, well, this was very good. I want to thank everyone for participating. That was very informative. And I think you're right. And I think there's a lot of challenges ahead. Our meetings today were advertised to begin our regular Board of Trustees meeting at the conclusion of our workshop. So I am going to adjourn our workshop and open our regular, what's that?
Take a recess?
We'll take a, no, it was advertised to start at the conclusion of our workshop. So unless the board wants to take a recess, we'll move right along. So I will call the regular board meeting to order. And we pledged at the beginning of our workshop. You want to pledge again, or have one pledge?
You're looking at the wrong one for that? This is my second meeting.
Well, we'll call our first pledge our pledge. So our next item is the audience of any citizen. The Florida Gateway College Board of Trustees will hear any citizen who wishes to address the board on a one-time basis pertaining to a relevant topic. If the board wishes to hear more about the topic, that topic will be scheduled for a future board meeting. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes, and the time dedicated to this topic will not exceed 20 minutes. Is there any member of the public who would wish to be heard? You're the only member of the public here, Mr.
As
Brooker.
usual.
Well, we're glad to have you.
It's nice to be here tonight, thank you. I just have a word of warning for everybody. If you need an ambulance, get in your car and drive across the border. Columbia County EMS, as Ms. Logan can tell you, sitting through a meeting, is code red. You're lucky if you can get an ambulance. That's in this county. And the reason I say that is because the school system is a disaster. I don't know if Ms. Logan ever attended this county commission meeting, but they know nothing about government. They talk over each other, and you just can look at her face, try to keep a straight face. They interrupt each other. They finish each other's sentences. They don't know how to make sentences. It's really a disaster area. And it's getting worse. And the students that are running the county are all students that graduated from Columbia County High School. And that wasn't yesterday. It was maybe 1 or 2 generations ago. So it continues to get worse. I suggest anybody tune in to the school board meeting when Belmont was on the agenda with the charter school, and the school district had absolutely nothing to say. And I come to these meetings and I don't hear a lot about education. I hear about welding. I hear about other stuff, but I never hear you guys talk about education. You know, the stuff that makes people human. You keep getting rid of courses that expand human knowledge. I look at the agendas. I see that you lost an assistant math professor, which I'm going to be looking into a little bit more strongly. But I come to the board meetings, and this board never talks about education. We talk about how many students were enrolled. We have everybody from the board sits up like little Indians. But you don't get into the meat of it. I've asked 3 times or 4 times, and this is the last thing, Mr. Chairman, over the years, what is this school district, what is this college doing about remediation? Now, if you looked at the school at the county commission meeting, and I said, just everybody look at it, see if you can tolerate it. It was just like Fort White, Mr. Chairman, maybe on steroids sometimes, is bad. Is what are you doing about remediation? Is Florida Gateway College grade 13? And I've asked that and I've asked that. Ms. Norris makes, it's like maybe we shouldn't be talking about that. And I'm thinking maybe you guys should be talking about that. Got a $30+ million budget. You got students that you're trying to educate and really prepare for the rest of their lives as the local school districts fail. So I've been coming to these board meetings for quite some time now, and I would like to see a little bit more discussion about some really important stuff on the human side that prepares people for the journey for the rest of their life. Not to be able to hold a welding stick, because we can teach all of you guys to do that. But and I would just, final thing, Mr. Chairman.
Very quick.
Yeah, and I don't know how that happened, and I think it should be looked into. Is this school eliminated Western civilization, I believe, from its course system? How does anybody do that? I mean, that's white people, Western civilization, Bailey. So, you know, if you look at Florida and you look at this board, things have changed. I think you need to look into maybe putting Western civilization back on the docket. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Next item is approval of the board minutes. That will be for April 9, 2026. The board has had an opportunity to review the minutes. Are there any questions or comments about the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Medina,
Second.
Ms. Allen. All approved, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay. Our student government representative is coming in the door, so we'll come back to her. We'll go to the presentation of the consent agenda. The items on the consent agenda are routine business, state directives, and/or compliance items. All items have been reviewed by the board attorney and have been available to the board for its examination. Any trustee can request a topic to be removed from the consent agenda and discussed further. Typographical errors will be noted and corrected in the board minutes. Are there any items on the consent agenda that any board member would like to have removed? Are there any questions or comments about the consent agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Dr. Cerency,
Second.
Ms. Norris, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. We will go now to student government report from our student government. Yeah, perfect timing. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon. Since this is our last meeting, SGA has hosted several events and activities to finish out the month of April. We hosted a mixology event, no alcohol, okay, featuring specialty drinks inspired by those found in coffee shops. Students thoroughly enjoyed the activity, and there was a steady line for drinks throughout the entire event. We also partnered with Career Services to host Spring Fling. Students had the opportunity to play games, visit college booths and career booths, and enjoy food and refreshments. The event was themed around Candyland, giving all the students candy and a whimsical atmosphere. Additional activities throughout the month included a succulent planting activity where students created and took home their own mini plants, cleaned up the campus for recognition of Earth Day, and also we traveled around with a little snack cart around campus to help with, our students during finals. We also provided supplies for graduating students who wanted to decorate their graduating caps. Before I conclude my report, I would like to congratulate Jasmine Fan, who will be serving as the next SGA president. This year, Jasmine started the Film and Debate Club and has done a great job serving as this president. Through her leadership, the club has provided students with another opportunity to get involved on campus and connect with one another. I am confident that SGA will be in good hands under her leadership. The new SGA administration will hold its first meeting on July 1st, and I look forward to seeing what Jasmine and the new leadership team will accomplish during the upcoming year. This concludes my report, but before I finish, I would like to take a moment and thank all of you guys for supporting me through this last year. Serving in SGA has been a great experience and a great opportunity, and I will truly miss the opportunity to work alongside fellow students, faculty, staff, and administration. Thank you for the guidance, encouragement, and opportunities you guys have provided me during my role.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Well, again, we really do appreciate all you do. I'm always impressed each month at the number of events you guys put on, and it really means a lot to the students, and we appreciate you coming here and telling us about them. And good luck with whatever comes next with you. Nice, nice. Well, congratulations and good luck. Our next item is academic affairs.
All right. Good afternoon, Chair and perpetuity, evidently, board members and college president. Timothy Mims with Academic Affairs. Just wanted to go over, we've had a very busy summer, even though we're cramming 5 days into 4 days a week. So currently we've had 3 professors that attended the Master Teacher Seminar. It's put on by the Florida State College Consortium. They learned the best practices and everything, so we picked professors across a wide spectrum of disciplines so they can learn best practices and bring it back to us. Next up on the agenda, or not the agenda, on the academic affairs, thank you, is foundation grants. We'd like to send our sincerest appreciation to the FGC Foundation. This year they started their first annual foundation grant, innovation grant. What this does, it provides financial funds to any kind of innovative idea that any faculty or staff have. This year, we've already used it for interactive calculators for advanced mathematics in the classroom. And this past weekend, we used it for our teacher summit, our first annual teacher summit. This invited teachers from 7 different counties to come to our location to put on professional development, networking, and you run the gambit. And they also got free food, which they appreciated very, very much. We have leftovers still, in case you guys want them. But I'd like to send my sincerest appreciation to Dr. Carroll, Elizabeth Carroll, and her staff and team for putting that on. It was a lot of heavy lifting, both figurative and literally. So figurative, or literally, was me having to lift up a lot of stuff and move it. All right, and next up we have our automotive department. Our lead instructor, Torben Rochard, he used his foundation grant to reward the top student academically with a new set of tools upon graduation. This year, our winner was Caleb Jenkins. He was the program's top academic performer, and he also earned a record 8 ASE certifications upon graduation. So he's going to utilize those new tools. In case you guys don't know, last time you went to Home Depot, those tools are incredibly expensive, and mechanics are required to provide their own tools. So this gives him a little bit of head start in his future endeavors. Also, workforce, we just wrapped up our master credential list and CAPE funding certification list. Last year, we earned 394 certifications. This year, we have 469 certifications, and that increase equates to $469,000. For those that do math, that's averaging about $1,000 per certification. So that funding will be used to grow programs within the workforce and health sciences. So sincerest appreciation to all our workforce and health sciences instructors that helped enable that. Now we're going to move on to the agenda. So if you turn to your agenda item 7B, this is going to be approval for program changes. We have 3 items underneath the program changes. The first one is going to be bachelor's in water resources. The program change in here is going to help expand the program by accepting articulation agreements for credit-bearing courses for state water treatment certifications and wastewater treatment operations. Also, the prereqs and coreqs have been changed to better align with our AS and business program for those students that want to continue on with our BAS program. The second item under the program changes is the AS Environmental Science Technology. Once again, the prereqs and coreqs have been changed to better align with our for students, our current students looking to transition to the BAS program. And then our third change is a removal of the SYG prefix from the general education course list. I know we have some new board members here, so I just wanted to give you a quick breakdown of what general education is and what it means. So general education is the foundational courses that all credit-bearing degrees, such as the AA, AS, and bachelor's degree, it creates that foundation of knowledge across 5 different disciplines, from humanities to natural science to mathematics. And this is what the state mandates that we need to teach, and we need to align across the entire state of Florida, including the university system and the state Florida college system. So these are very, I don't want to like to say nitpicky, but these are very specific requirements that students have to reach. And we also have to report our general learning outcomes based on those courses. So what happened was, long story short, the SYG courses, it was kind of the Wild West. They couldn't agree on what the learning outcomes or the course descriptions were going to be. So the SYGs were moved from the general learning outcomes as a quality assurance measure, but we're still going to offer all the SYG prefixes here at the college. They're just going to be offered as an elective and an AA transferable course. So they're not disappearing. We're keeping them on the books. They just won't be counted towards that general education foundation. So I would like to request the board's approval based on any further questions on that for approval of these program changes.
Okay, are there any questions or comments about the recommended program changes?
So I just want to verify, all of the SYG courses that are going to continue to be offered,
Correct, yes.
all are transferable
Correct, yes.
for an AA.
Right, and we also, if, let's say you're going for a bachelor's degree in sociology, there are still those prereqs that they have to meet, and those will still be offered here. So if they decide they want to transfer for Florida State to go into sociology, those will still be offered. It's just going to be as an elective, because the students still have to get up to 24 credits in electives, and they will be able to satisfy their prereq that way.
I'm just asking because I know we have had courses in the past that were non-transferable.
Right, and the SYGs, they'll still be transferable.
They will be, okay.
All right, any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the program changes.
So move, Medina.
Mr. Medina?
Second.
Ms. Allen? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Well, that passes.
All right, moving on to agenda item 7C, the approval of new programs. We have 2 new programs that we're excited to roll out. One addendum on that is these new programs. It does say fall of 2026 in the agenda, but it's going to be fall of 27 for both of these programs. The first one is the AS in sport management. If you try to say sports management, you're incorrect. It is called sport management. We went through an entire thing with that. So the sports management AS degree is already aligned within the business hemisphere. So what it is, it's more for managing facilities, it's managing sports teams, it's managing events. So with our growing recreational facilities in this area, including Gainesville, this has become a very popular avenue for a lot of our students. We will be only the second college in the state of Florida to offer this degree after Miami-Dade. This will also be a recruiting tool for our sports teams, as a lot of these students they are looking for that type of background. They're looking for that type of pathway in order to compete. So right now, what we have is just the actual pure business program and the agribusiness program. This will bring in the sports. And also embedded within that is the athletic coaching and learning. It's a college credit certificate that will enable the students to move on in case they want to get certified in coaching or even umpiring. I don't know why anybody want to do that. You're just going to get yelled at by parents. But our next program is it's an animal science pathway that's going to be embedded within the agribusiness program. So currently the agribusiness program is more shaped around landscaping and golf course management. This is going to create another one where they can also concentrate in animal science. We have a very robust, I hate using the word robust, but we really do have a very robust FFA program in this area. So this will attract a lot of the students that are trying to learn those methods and those practices, the best practices that are currently within that scope. And embedded within that is also livestock production management college credit certificate. So it's also an 18 credit certificate that they will be able to embed. Also, along with a few extra general education courses, they'll be able to transfer to schools such as UF, FAMU, different programs such as that. So bearing any questions, I'd like to request the board approval for these new programs.
Okay. Any questions or comments related to the approval of new programs?
Can I ask the coach sitting here next to me a coach question?
Go ahead. It's been a while.
When I was in high school, my football coaches were teachers. Some taught science, some taught. Has there been as I go to football games and things now, I see people on the sidelines that aren't in the education system. And I go, oh, there's old so-and-so, he works at the sheriff's office. I didn't know he was a coach.
There's been a big,
so
absolutely.
Has there been a big,
There has been.
not being in that field?
There has been, and that's why I think this is good, because I think there needs to be more certification, more requirements for those that are not school employees, and you're absolutely right. So I'm glad to see, this.
I mean, we had lots of football coaches, must have had lots of money in the 70s and 80s.
And it's,
they were my teacher.
yeah.
And after school, they were my football coach.
Right, and it's great that the school districts have those volunteers that will come and help, and some that are paid. But I think giving the credibility to it and requiring some things are going to be even better for the programs.
And a lot of the sports management programs in the past have been more acclimated towards PE type, physical education. This is going to be towards more the business side of things. With NIL coming out and everything, even with high schools, they need to be educated on that.
And I like the leadership piece.
Right, exactly.
I think that's absolutely important.
So my follow-up question is to the other side of this, the livestock, agriculture side. So that has grown too over the last 20 years. I was the weekend before Memorial Day, I was there at the fairgrounds when they had what I called a jackpot show. But you couldn't get in the parking lot for the livestock trailers. I mean, the fairgrounds was full. They were spilling over toward the rodeo grounds. So I guess is that the driver, the 4-H and FFA and the explosion of these livestock programs?
And it's almost like the business. 50 years ago, you didn't need a degree in business, but there's so many regulations in place now. 30 years ago, my grandfather said, just see what color snot is coming out of that cow's nose and try to figure it out. Now things have changed where the science has progressed. So that's one thing we're trying to get ahead of, is trying to get that. Okay.
And if you go to the University of Florida and visit their animal science program, 75% of them are female now.
And we're partnership with the cows with UF right now, and that's what we're seeing. It's very heavily female oriented because it really is advanced. It's advanced sciences. It's advanced math. So, and it's not your stereotypical like, all right, I'm going to go fix a tractor. And this is what this is more based on. Whereas taking calculus with physics is going to be the type of thing you're going to get at UF.
How many hours is the certificate program?
The certificate program's 15 credit hours.
And our hope would be that down the road, we've talked about vet tech, especially vet tech for large animals and so forth. So we do have actually a faculty member that is a veterinarian on campus. Not a veterinarian on campus. She teaches a whole nother, that's how we do our healthcare. But anyway, so that does teach in another program, a study that is a licensed vet. And we're hoping that potentially if we see a demand in this could all lead us to a vet tech program, which is a very expensive program too. Please.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the new program.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the new programs.
Dr. Sorensen?
I'll second the coach.
Mr. Brannon? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes.
All right, and the next agenda item is going to be 7D. This is going to be an easy one. These are all the courses that are going to be associated with the new program. So they're going to be the animal science courses and also the sports management program courses. So I'd like to request the board's approval for the new courses.
Okay. Any questions or comments about the new courses that will be associated with these two new programs?
I'll move that we approve those courses.
Mr. Brandon? And the second?
Second, Medina.
Mr. Medina? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
All right, and last but not least, agenda item 7E. We have two items on this this agenda item. It's going to be the 26-27 list. This is an updated journal. So to give you guys a little bit of background for the newer board members, every year we have to certify our general education course list, and this is 2 years ahead of time because the state puts so much weight on these courses. So I can't diminish like the capacity of how much weight these courses have. So we have to go through the course description, learning outcomes, and go through all the entire process. For the 26-27, it's been amended to remove the SYG courses because we couldn't commit to that quality control for those courses. So we need to recertify those, and we're also certifying our 27-28 list. So I'd like to request the board's approval for FGC's 26-27 and 27-28 general education lists.
Okay. Any questions or comments about the updated general education review course list? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Dr. Cerency?
Second.
Ms. Norris? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes.
Okay, barring any question, that completes my report.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay, student services.
2 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Good afternoon-ish, evening. I am going to start with the enrollment report. Summer registration continues to track ahead of last year. We're currently at 1,864 students registered compared to 1,799 students, and that's an increase of 3.6%. And then for credit hours, we're also up 3.3% at 13,123 credit hours compared to 12,698 credit hours last year. We do have a Summer B that'll start June 24th, so that'll be fluctuating until then. Fall registration opened on May 18th, and we're off to a strong start with that term as well. We are currently at 1,126 students registered compared to 1,058 at this point last year, and that's a 6.4% increase. And then in credit hours, we're up 9.7%. We're at 10,630 credit hours compared to 9,687. To support our fall enrollment efforts, our Office of Advising Services hosted a registration rush event in their office for the first 2 weeks of registration. So we encouraged our current students to come in, meet with an advisor, get prepped for fall, and they were entered into drawings for laptops and meal vouchers and all kind of goodies, and that went well. I think I mentioned the instant decision days that we were going to start in April, and those have concluded, and they went very well. This is basically our one-stop model that we do here, where we have reps from financial aid, advising, registration, admissions that help students get registered and enrolled in one day in one location. We actually took those reps to the high schools and scheduled times for each senior that was interested in coming to FGC to do the entire enrollment process. And so we did see about 210 students and got them registered for either summer or fall. It does seem like a simple concept, but it took a lot of coordination. So those teams did an amazing job under the leadership of Julie Cannon to get that done. We hosted an end-of-semester luau for our Residence Life students as a celebration for the end of spring and before they moved out. We did it out at Pine Square on April 28th. We had water slides and food and games and karaoke. It did start like a little bit of a middle school dance situation where they were all like separate, but then like 30 minutes in, they were having a blast. They did not want it to end. So we definitely want to take that same type of event into the fall for the start of the semester to get students with a sense of community. In the residence hall, it is vacant now, so it is the time that we can do updates. I want to thank our facility staff. They're currently putting up decorative stripes along the walls in our school colors just to make it a little more homey in there for our students. They're fixing the shower stall floors, painting the bathrooms, and cleaning things up for our residents to return in August. My last update is on graduation. Summer commencement will be held Thursday, August 6th at 6 p.m. Students still have a little bit more time to sign up for that, so I don't know the final number that'll be there, but hopefully it'll be a good turnout. And then we held our spring commencement on May 8th. That was the right date, I think, May 8th. We had 2 ceremonies, and our audiovisual team put together a video that has excerpts from the speeches that were given that day, along with footage of the graduates and faculty and staff, and it's a really good video. It's 1 minute, and I would like to share that now, and I think our AV team will be playing it, if anyone.
Graduates, today marks a remarkable achievement. You've overcome challenges, met high expectations, and reached a goal that once may have seemed impossible.
Each of today's graduates has achieved academic success, but it has not been easy. Each graduate has their own story of successes and challenges during their time here.
Your determination and hard work have driven your success and brought you here to this milestone.
This is a day to celebrate how far you've come and look ahead to what's next. As Oprah Winfrey once said, the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams.
Graduates, today is May 8th, a special day for each of you. Today at this ceremony, we celebrate your graduation, along with the importance of resilience and perseverance, as well as a refreshing innovation.
Ladies and gentlemen, graduating class of 2026.
Start your journey today. Visit fgc.edu to learn more.
That's the first time I saw it. Yeah.
Has that been a month already?
Where will that be advertised or whatever?
So we do have it on social media, and we're
Okay.
using it in some digital ads
Yeah,
on different
that's really
platforms,
good.
yeah. But that concludes my report.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, business services report.
Good afternoon again. I will start with, we will ask approval for the student activities budget for the 26-27 fiscal year. This budget represents an increase of $35,106.14, which is a 12% projected increase from tuition and fees.
Any questions about the student activities budget of 2026-2027? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Who is it?
Second.
Oh, Dr. Certainty.
I'll second.
Mr. Brannon, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Thank you. My next item, college request board approval of the 26-27 scholarship plan. The plan details are found in the table below. It's the financial aid fees that we collect from students and how we give them back out to the students in various scholarships.
Okay, any
And that is an
questions?
increase.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I thought you stopped, you paused
I
long
did.
enough. I thought you were done.
I'm sorry. It's an increase of $47,321.71 as compared to last year's budget, and it's due to a carry forward amount from the financial aid fees and an estimated increase in the PSAV financial aid revenue.
Now you're done.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any questions about the scholarship plan for 2026-2027? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Ms. Norris?
Second, Medina.
Mr. Medina, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Okay, thank you. Student fee schedule. The college requests approval of the student fee schedule fiscal year 26-27. The fees are in accordance with legislative mandated guidelines, but are subject to review and approval of the Florida college system. Proposed capital improvement fees will be used for capital improvements, technology enhancement, or equipping student buildings. Revenues generated from technology fees shall be used to enhance instructional technology resources for students and faculty. And as Dr. Barrett stated earlier, we have not increased our fees in 14 years.
Any questions about the student fees schedule for 26-27? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
I so move.
Ms.
To
Allen?
approve the student fee schedule for the fiscal year 26-27.
Second.
Second. Dr. Cernsey, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes.
Thank you. The college requests approval for the 26-27 budget for the foundation of Florida Gateway College. It's a requirement that we separate out the foundation's expenses that are paid by the college on their behalf. This represents an increase of $25,977.93, or a 7% increase, which mainly they're related to the salary and benefits increase and a small increase in the printing budget for the year.
Are any questions about approval of the foundation budget for Florida Gateway College? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So
Mr.
moved.
Chairman, I'll make that motion to approve the foundation budget for the 26-27.
Okay. Dr. Cernsey and Ms. Norris will second. All approved, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes.
Thank you. The college requests approval of the operating budget for the fiscal year 26-27, current fund unrestricted, Fund 1. State Board of Education Rule 6A-14.0716 requires the college to prepare a budget for the current fund unrestricted, Fund 1, and subsequent to approval by the District Board of Trustees, submit copies of the approved budget to the Division of Florida Colleges for review and approval. The college baccalaureate operating budget is an integrated part of the budget presented.
Any questions about approval of the operating budget 26-27 Fund 1? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Ms. Norris?
Second.
Ms. Allen? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes.
Thank you. The college requests approval of the 26-27 salary schedule.
Okay. Any questions about the 2026 salary schedule?
26-27.
26-27 salary schedule. Not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved, Medina.
Mr. Medina?
Second.
Ms. Norris? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes.
Thank you. The college requests approval of budget amendment number 9 to the restricted current fund, Fund 2, for the fiscal year 25-26. This amendment recognizes revised award authorization and new grants received in the 25-26 fiscal year.
Any questions about budget amendment number 9 to current Fund 2? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Ms. Norris?
Second.
Dr. Cernsey? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Thank you. We are requesting approval of Fund 7, Budget Amendment 9, which has been revised so the report reflects actual revenue, revised budgeted expenditures, actual expenses, and updated projects through May 21st, 2026.
Any questions about Fund 7, Budget Amendment number 9? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve number 9.
Mr. Brandon?
Second.
Ms. Norris? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes.
Thank you. The college requests approval to move funds from Fund 1, current unrestricted, to Fund 7, capital funds, in order to replace PICO funding, which has not been awarded from the state for the past several years. This money is necessary for capital improvement projects in and around campus. If approved, this transfer will take place before June 30th, 2026.
Okay, are there any questions about the amendment to move funds from Fund 1 to Fund 7 for 25-26?
And the amount $700,000, I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
In the amount of $700,000. If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion to Move funds from the current fund, Fund 7, to Fund 1 to Fund 7, capital funds for fiscal year 25-26.
Dr. Sorensen,
Second.
Ms. Norris. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes.
Thank you. The college requests board approval to enter into a contract with Train Inc. for HVAC project upgrades to the Howard Center in the amount of $748,455 to be paid with the 25-26 award funds.
Any questions about the request to approve a contract with Train Inc.?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
And this goes for the one behind it, too, so you can maybe answer both of them at the same time. So I see that we piggybacked, which is obviously, allowed, but can you give me some background on, who we piggybacked off of, and what kind of due diligence do you do on the contractor that you use based on the piggyback?
Yes. The Train piggyback was a federal piggyback contract, and that was awarded based on best price for the federal agency that went after the contract. And we just do some research on the going rate and if the piggyback is allowable. And
do you reach out there to see what the experience was in terms of the work that was done?
We have used Train before on campus.
Okay.
And we've been happy with their work.
Okay.
They're ongoing with 2 projects for us right now.
Are there any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Ms. Norris?
Second.
Ms. Allen? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes.
Thank you. The college requests board approval to enter into a contract with Woods Electrical Services to conduct renovations to the welding building in the amount of $340,000 to be paid with grant funds. And that contract was a piggyback as well, and that was a piggyback from the River Oak Technical College. They had a very similar project in scope and size, so we felt that was the way to go. Let them do the work and on the contract end.
Okay, any questions or comment about the request to approve the Woods Electrical contract? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Ms. Norris?
Second.
Dr. Sorensen, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That'll pass it.
Thank you. The college requests approval of the Florida College System Capital Improvement Plan and legislative budget request for the 27-28 through the fiscal year 29-30 for Florida Gateway College. This report is required to be completed annually by the college and submitted to the Division of Florida Colleges. The division will use the data from the report to submit requests for public education capital outlay funding in the next legislative session. The CIP2 summary is provided for information and approval.
Are there any questions about the request to approve the capital improvement plan and legislative budget request? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I so move.
Ms. Allen?
Second.
Dr. Sorensen? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Thank you. The college requests board approval of the following change orders for Bourbon Construction for the STEM 2 project. The executed change orders number 1 through 16 in the amount of $361,616.19. Of that amount, $331,660.11 were related to the permit delays that were in the very beginning of the project.
Any questions about the request to approve the change orders?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is that the biggest part of the delay, and was it on the front end?
Yes.
Because it certainly hadn't been the weather.
No, no.
It had to be something else.
The biggest delay was the permitting from city.
On the front end?
On the front end.
Yeah,
And,
that's what you're...
That's
you know,
correct.
this wasn't our best project, and we always talk about that on both ends. The board, what, it was a year and a half ago, project 6 months delayed, and when we were supposed to be completed, the board had showed concern over the contractor. We're at the end of this long process. So lessons learned, a lot of lessons learned over the situation. But we'll still have a good building at the end. It's just not but there was the 180 days was to tap into the building.
So it's not the contractor's fault?
Well, right now, there's some contractor issues. We could go over some things.
What's the time frame? What were the rules? What were the parameters of how long they had to do it?
Well, Ms. Logan, you want to talk?
Because I rode by and I was still shocked at where it was.
It's going to be.
I'm thinking, how long ago did I stand there and do a gold shovel groundbreaking?
It was supposed to be completed in August of last year.
Okay.
It was a time frame we gave. They said they could do it in 10 months. So I mean.
And what's the thing?
And remember, on STEM 1, we finished in 11 months,
Right.
and we're done 6 months.
So what's the word I'm looking for? Are there? What's the word?
Liquidated damages?
There we go.
Yes.
There are. We are obviously trying to get this project to the finish
Right, I know
line, but
that.
we are absolutely looking at that.
Okay.
Yes.
And I mean, to describe it is that because it wasn't a local company, it was a company that has done work still in Florida. He's doing a lot more work in Florida, believe it or not. But their subs, they didn't work with the local people, and it's come fruition. And we do have a temporary CO. Well, I'm supposedly having a temporary CO today. I haven't seen it, but and which is a CO, and then we'll start becoming more involved. It's their building right now, but like the storefront needs to be replaced again. So there's some issues that we're working towards.
So we're
August 12th, we'll have the grand opening. It will be done.
This year?
This year. See, I should have left it open. No, we will, and actually, we're getting very close, but it's been a challenge.
What if it rains? What if we had no rain?
Probably would be looking at August the 27th.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Any other questions about this request? All right, well, I'll entertain a motion to approve the change orders.
So moved, Medina.
Mr. Medina?
Second.
Ms. Norris? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Thank you. And that concludes my request.
Before you step away, I think you overlooked item J, approval of the 5-year educational plan survey.
I'm so sorry. I did.
Bring that up.
Yes. This was a big book. Let's see. Pardon me.
Which one, Jay?
It's Jay.
5-year educational plant survey.
Here we are. Okay, I'm sorry. The college requests approval of the 5-year educational plant survey. The survey is mandated by Section 1013.03 and 1013.64 Florida statutes and the state requirements for educational facilities, SREP, Section 3.1, Florida Administrative Code, FAC. The Educational Plant Survey is a systematic study that aids in the formulation of plans for housing and educational programs and student population, faculty, administrators, staff, and auxiliary and ancillary services of the district or campus. The survey, which may be conducted by the agency, staff, or an agency employed by the board, it was conducted by the staff, must be conducted at least every 5 years. A copy of the survey must be submitted to the Department of Education Office of Educational Facilities for review and validation.
Okay. Any questions about the approval of the 5-year educational plant survey? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move. Go ahead, Ken.
Ms. Allen?
Go ahead.
I move to accept. Second, the 5-year educational plan survey.
All right. Second by Ms. Norris. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we have the president's report.
Before I begin, Mr. Chair, I want to thank Amy for pulling this agenda and this booklet together. It was a big chore. As you can see, a lot of work went into it by all the people. Before I make any comments, I want to ask the board's approval for or discussion about the annual review of the Florida Gateway College mission statement. The college requests annual board approval of the FGC mission statement. The statement was last reviewed and approved last June 2025, and the mission statement is, quote, "The mission of Florida Gateway College to provide superior instruction, nurture individual development, foster career readiness, and enrich the diverse communities it serves through affordable, quality higher education programs and lifelong learning opportunities."
Are there any comments or questions or proposed updates to the mission statement? Still a good one. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we continue with that mission statement.
Dr. Cerency?
Second.
Ms. Allen? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
And I'd like to ask Ms. Logan, so in I always get this confused every time, 11 years in a row. In August, we decide the board dates, or we decide the board dates?
We decide the board dates because that sets our August meeting.
So we do take them.
Correct.
So, Mr. Chair, before I make any other comments, we have a meeting schedule for next year to present to the board for approval. The only comment I would make before this is since we had so many openings in our trustees, in the past practice was we'd try to have at least 3 or 4 of the meetings at different locations. I don't know what the choice of the board is, because we have new trustees who want to wait or what, but this is presented as a location of Florida Gateway College. So I'm not sure if you want to reconsider some of them at this point, and we just approve the dates, and then we come back after I have some conversations with the board from different counties if they so choose. But it's up to you.
Okay, so all the locations now are here. Does any board member have any comments or thoughts about that?
Well, Union is happy to host a meeting if the board is willing to do that. But if not, that's fine. But Superintendent Ripplinger has reached out to me and said that they are in agreement to do that already.
Okay. And for your new board members, he always cooks, and it's fantastic.
He cooks himself.
I always enjoy going out to the other parts of the district because I normally probably wouldn't get an opportunity to interact with the community there and to hear their perspective. And so I would continue to support that if the board is inclined to do that.
I don't mind going. Any of the board members who coordinate with their county or counties and wants to have a meeting there, I'm certainly okay with it. It doesn't fine with me. Ms. Cannon, you have big shoes to fill because your predecessor put on the feed in Dixie County.
Oh, yes.
Shrimp pasta.
Yep.
Can I give her a job today?
Yes, sir.
For 22 years, Catherine sat next to me this day and would always ask me, "Chuck, am I going to see you at the FFA convention next time?" The answer, yes. She would always make sure I was coming.
So
the way it is.
we can approve it the way it is, and then if as the year goes on, if anyone gets a meeting where their county would like to host, it sounds like the board is willing to go. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the board calendar.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman, with the understanding that the locations may change as we go forward.
Yes, sir. Dr. Cerency?
Second, Medina.
Mr. Medina, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We recently had a welding opening for our $1 million brand-new welding lab. If you haven't gotten to see it, it was well done. It was very hot that day, but it was what our welders deal with. It was very well received, and we received some very kudos from the media and also from the industry itself. A lot of industry people attended that welding opening. There will be a grand opening of the celebration of STEM 2 at 10:30 on August 12th. And I was just going to say August 12th, but I'll make sure it's August 12th, 2026 at 10:30. That will be followed by the annual foundation celebration luncheon. So please put that on your calendars if you can. We'll be, after all those events are done by 1 o'clock, you'll be out of here. We always make sure that at the foundation. So get that on your calendars. I do think that I will promise the board that once we open, I think we'll bring back to you, just decompress some of the challenges and so forth we've had with STEM 2 that we won't do again for the future. Wanted to let you know the process of inheriting, getting the donated lots from the Lakeshore Hospital Authority is going very well. The survey should be done by Tuesday. We will be completing an environmental study, phase 1, by the end of the month, followed by Ms. Logan closing with the Lakeshore Hospital attorney, which we're hoping to occur by August 1st. We've had a good meeting with some federal agencies about funding for the buildings downtown, and that's our hope that we'll do that. I also want to give you an update quickly about the Asset Foundation. I was pretty impressed by these numbers, that the foundation assets have increased $7.1 million in 1 year, increase of 24% of assets. And I knew Trustee Norris would ask. It's good investing, new donations, new endowments, and also the Lakeshore Hospital donation. And that is including how the market tanked in March in investments. Vice President Brady was not able to be with us here tonight. He's on vacation, a pre-planned vacation. He texted me during the meeting and wanted to make sure the trustees knew that we do review industries and what the new jobs based on population and statistically population. It's called the CLNA report, which involves school districts, industries, career sources, and all the information we get from the state. So he asked me to state that. So a couple of things you approved in your packet today that you might have not observed, but we are bringing back men's golf and women's volleyball. They were the two sports that we created when we started sports again here. What comes around and goes around. I think we're a much more mature institution handling sports than we did then and understand, and we've had a great number of inquiries to bring back men's golf and women's volleyball. And so they will both be instituted in fall of 2027, but you approved their coaches' positions because we need to start recruitment of those programs, unlike we did last time. So I think we have a very good start on that. Continue with sports for a minute. As you all found out, as our flag football team won their 4th national championship under Coach Hufty and our students. We graduated 8 of those students at graduation, and they received their diplomas at the game. Lee was at the game because I couldn't be there because of graduation. It was held in Chicago, and they were very rejoicing. That being said, that's something that you'll hear from me down the road, and you heard me briefly mention it. What we start is we start things, and then people take advantage of it, and which they should. It's part of industry and business. But there'll be 69 new flag football teams in the country at NJCAA, and Division I NCAA has just announced that they're skipping all the processes of experimental, and they're going straight to Division I. And with that, 2 of our players, freshman players, have already been signed by those NCAA Division I teams with full scholarships and NIL deals. So that marketplace will change dramatically, and we are working on a plan to make sure that Florida Gateway College remains the center of excellence for flag football in the United States. And that will be forthcoming with hopefully some announcements soon. So congratulations to that team, and bringing wonderful women add very much to the flavor of this campus. So, and I thank you all, and Ricky thanks you all for their support for that team, and they're all graduating, which is important to me. I just returned from my SAC COC, our current accreditors trustee meeting, which I serve as a trustee, one of only 2 public members still in the state of Florida, where we approved a name change from the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission to the Commission on Colleges and Universities. As you may recall, our accreditor once was a regional accreditor, and now they're national accreditors. At that meeting, and as I was driving home, it was announced that we were approved for our 5th-year report, which was accepted with no revisions. So we have the huge 10-year report and then a 5-year report that Christine and all these people in this room run. It's a very important report, so our report was accepted with no revisions required. That's good news and bad news for the staff. After today, we'll begin our process of seeking a new accreditor as required by Florida law, which will be a significant undertaking both financially and personally for all of us. We have a tentative plan in place, but you'll hear the plan in the coming months. And I will tell you that at that meeting, it's significant because as an educator, and I don't want to go on too long, it's important to know the changes that take place for the past many years in higher education. As higher education changed since 1862 under the Morrill Act. But it's important to know that at that meeting, they approved new programs of study for 90-degree bachelor programs. And it's happening across the United States. And I could go for a half hour to tell you why, and the pros and cons. So as we talk about education and the evolution of this industry, it's changing rapidly. Tennessee has approved 9 at the university levels, not at the college levels, 9 90-degree programs over the last. So it's happening rapidly. There's lots of discussion about it, but I just wanted to share that with you because it really set home a message to me as we talked about it. And so we'll be entering in a new accreditor. It'll probably take us 18 months, and we'll have status with the new group, the Commission on Colleges and Universities. And I plan on staying on board until we no longer are part of that. So, and at that point, that is my report, Mr. Chair.
All right. Any questions or comments for Dr. Barrett? All right. Looks like we turn it over to Ms. Logan at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So every year, the board evaluates its president. You should have these evaluations in your folder. There are 7 areas that are evaluated with scores ranging from 1, which is poor, to excellent, which is a 5. Obviously, we have some new trustees, so the results that I'm about to summarize are the results of 6 evaluations as it relates to Dr. Barrett. The first category is board relations. There's various subsections or subcategories below that. He received all excellence with comments such as Dr. Barrett keeps open lines of communication with all board members. Dr. Barrett works hard to achieve the goals that are presented to him by the board. The second category on which he was evaluated was community, state, and national relations. He received 5 in both of those subcategories, 5s in both of those. Dr. Barrett is involved in the community and continues to be sought out as a leader. The third area of evaluation is fiscal operations. He received excellence across all of those subcategories with comments consisting of strong fiscal management. College consistently obtains unqualified audit with minimal corrections and prudent and disciplined in managing expenses. The next category is instructional and student services programs, 5s across the board for those subcategories as well. Personnel and human resource operations, 5s in those. Leadership, all 5s with comments such as Dr. Barrett is always an early adopter to new ideas that will improve the college and comply with statewide initiatives. And Dr. Barrett is always accessible and visible to faculty, student, and staff. The last area of evaluation is goals, objectives, and areas of concentration. There was 1 4 in the subcategory of regarding the strategic planning process, which brought that scaled score down to a 4.8, but other than that, it was 5s across the board. And then you can see on the final page various comments regarding Dr. Barrett's interaction with trustees and his leadership with the college, all of which are extremely positive.
Okay. Any comments or questions about the presidential evaluation results? Okay. And I suppose, Ms. Logan, we're supposed to vote to approve the presidential evaluation results?
Yes.
Okay. And if there's no comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the presidential evaluation results.
So moved. Second.
Dr. Cerency moves, and Mr. Brandon seconds. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. And then Ms. Logan has you by the board self-evaluation.
And then this is just for informational purposes, for accreditation purposes. Every year, the board evaluates itself, and we discuss the results of that at a public meeting. There are 6 areas of evaluation for the board, again, with scales ranging from 1, unacceptable, to 5, superior. The first area was mission and planning, all 5s reflecting superior ratings. The second area, board leadership and meetings, all 5s. The third area, policy, role, and direction, again, all 5s. Board president relationship, consistent with the president's evaluation, were all superiors. Fiduciary roles, all 5s. And educational programs and student achievement, there was one score which resulted in an average of 4.8 relating to the board being knowledgeable about the institution's programs and services, but otherwise 5s. And same thing, this is followed by comments the board made regarding its own performance and evaluation, essentially finding that the board works very well with the college president and staff, an excellent board and team. Trustees understand their roles and responsibilities, and essentially just speaks to the good relationship between the president and the board.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments or questions about the board self-evaluation? All right, we don't vote on it. I'm just making sure if anybody had anything they wanted to say. Okay, topics for future meetings. If any board member, and again, for your new board members, as you're sort of learning how this works, if you ever have a topic that you would like to have brought up at our meetings, if you'll just let the president's office know, they will get it on the agenda. So anything that you would like to hear about or have discussed at a future meeting. The warrant register is always available for inspection. Our next meeting will be August 13th. It will be at 5 o'clock here. And if there's nothing else,
Can I say one thing?
Yes, sir.
And I just want to single out Lee, sitting back there with his head down. Mike Lee was great. And, you know, having been on this board a long time, like, how do you ever replace Mike Lee? Well, we did. Because Lee Pinchot doesn't just do what Mike Lee did, he lobbies that legislature. And he is there. And I was just, Lee, I'm going to embarrass you a minute, but I'm going to read everything. But I just want to read you, this is how hard he works. This is on a Saturday morning, so this is how much he aggravates people. It's hard to bother you on a Saturday, but the budget never stops. Blah, 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 blah. But he goes on, and he wrote me something. I'm going to read it to you. But really, he got it all wrong. And he says, I just saw the budget for us. Basically, it's amazing. Both our projects are fully funded. We had a great budget session in an impossible budget session. And he's talking about me, but he's talking about himself because he's there, he's on top of it, he drives that train. And granted, there's 5 county commissions and 25 school board members and 5 sheriffs and 5 superintendents. They're all doing this, but Lee's the best at it. And that means a lot. So that don't look anywhere but right there, because that man, even though our office, he crashes in our suite sometimes, and that's great. We're glad to have him. Let him hang out. But as I close out my chapter in this kind of role, I just want you to know what a hard worker and a breath of fresh air he is to see him and know he's working hard, not just in Lake City, but in Tallahassee. So I appreciate you, Lee.
All right. Anything else? All right. If not, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you. See you in August.